with this feeling I can leave. I'm working and I'm here. Will you dare to give it over and walk by my side? Do you see the road? Do you hear it's cold? Do you want a bite of it? Just getting me above now. Just getting me above now. See the sun goes down, driving lights in hearts, counting trees around. This is our day to dream. My heart it's cursed with you. My heart is cursed with you.
And organizations trying to usher in a one-world government where foreign billionaires control everything we do. We have a message for you power-hungry globalists. You overplayed your hand. We see you. We know your plans. And guess what?
We are ready. We are united. We are ready. See you on May 20th.
On that weekend, the Bilderberg Club are meeting in Lisbon, Portugal for their annual meeting. So we are meeting too. Freedom lovers all over the world will come together in their own country or travel to Lisbon to send a clear message. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. This is unlike any other freedom event we've ever had. It's not a protest, it's a display of collective courage and strength. We are not begging to be heard anymore. We don't care what their plans are, because we are ready. In just 3 years, billions of innocent people were put on house arrest, stripped of their human rights, bombarded with repetitive fear propaganda, forced to choose between their job and trial drugs, cancelled, silenced, and bullied for asking questions. Now, in 2023, we're dealing with inflation we can't afford, rising energy prices, climate change, cancel culture and division, intrusive surveillance, and increasing death rates. You can threaten us as much as you want, but we have this message for you. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. Enough is enough. We are no longer afraid of you and your evil plans. So bring it on. Any group or person can host one of these events in their city. You can also help us spread the word or check to see if there's already an event in your area. Head to www.weareready.world for all the info.
www.weareready.world. My name is Jason. I'm your host, and you're on State of the Nation. And you know what that was? That was the new promo for the May 20th worldwide event, which is looking pretty cool. So I'll be looking forward to that. We'll be broadcasting at around 10 a.m. EST, which is Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be popping in and visiting different people around the world, find out what they're doing, coordinating with Reignite Freedom, and we might go for a few hours. So I'm really looking forward to that. And hopefully I'll be co-hosted with my partner in crime, Rosie Convoy from Canada. So the Kiwis and the Canadians will be at it again. Now, the title of today is she was held down and forced to comply, which is a really shocking, absolutely shocking situation that has come out of Canada. So a fellow runs a radio channel called Canada's Freedom Radio. Has Jason LaFaci, I think. He might be French, so hopefully I didn't mispronounce his name. But man, oh man, the story that came out of this one just shocked me. And I'm lost beyond words. Where is the outrage? Where is the absolute outrage?
Share this video. And this video is about an incident that happened here just outside my city on Manitoulin Island in Little Current at this retirement home. So I'm going to play this video and then we'll talk about it after.
Hi everyone, this is April 25th, 2023. I was having a conversation with my mom yesterday and I was shocked, like literally shocked to hear what she told me, what happened on Manitoulin Island while she was in the Little Current nursing home. Yes, I was shocked. She had already taken the 3rd dose for COVID. This breaks my heart. From my own freaking home place of Manitoulin Island. For the fourth dose, she was telling me that they came into her room and said, you have to take the 4th dose. And she said, no, I'm not taking the fucking 4th one. I'm not. And then she tells me that they held her down and pulled out her arm and gave her the shot anyways. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, Manitoulin, Little Current nursing home. You fucking piece of shit. How dare you? How fucking dare you do that to my mother? When she said no, she meant no. You piece of fucking shit. Now, I am so upset.
You'd be upset too. 4 doses. She had 3. She was forced to take the 4th. Now that's happening in an old people's home. And that really makes me very, very concerned about what's happening to people and also what's happening. The other thing is at schools as well. They've been trying to coerce the kids, giving the kids the ability. The kids can't buy beer. They can't drive a car, but they can make a decision to get a experimental treatment by themselves, or they can cut off their genitalia by themselves. So I really feel for this lady indeed, and she is absolutely upset.
And I want to go down there and just go to that nursing home and kick everybody in the fucking ass. When my mom said no, she meant no. I am glad she is living here with me at home, where she can make the choices and say yes or no. Now I just need somebody to help me find out what I can do and do it the right way. You piece of freaking shit.
Yeah, that's what she needs. She actually needs somebody to help her. Legal action must be taken. You cannot do that to a person. You cannot forcefully. This is what the Nuremberg Code was for. Now, speaking of Nuremberg Code, this is pretty interesting that's just popped up. You'll be pleased to know that Mr. What is his name? I keep getting his name. Very difficult, his name. His name is Reiner. Let me just search his name. Reiner Fuellmich. He's a German lawyer. He's a German lawyer that's been setting up the Nuremberg trials around the world. And he has discovered something very, very interesting. And it's got a lot to do with New Zealand, of all places.
I have an important announcement to make. I am a free, independent human being, free in thought and free in action. I alone decide what I want and what I don't want, and I want real justice. The Maori in New Zealand, too, are free, independent human beings. Unlike all other human beings, though, they have never lost or ceded their independence. It is enshrined in their
Trying to play with our internet connection here. How you know, I've just been doing another live broadcast. It has been fine. Let's go back and see if these fellas are doing it.
who make their own choices and who will not let anyone tell us what to do and what not to do. My friend and colleague Dexter Reinefeld and I, on behalf of the International Group of Lawyers, for many weeks have spoken with representatives of the Maori government.
Okay, so I'm going to pause him. I'm going to pause him and mute him. And I'll explain the story because I can explain the story. So essentially what's going on is he's figured out a thing called He Wakaputanga. And He Wakaputanga is an old treaty which predates the Treaty of Waitangi. And it's based on the Wakameanga movement. And it's got a lot to do with naval treaty and trade treaty. So it's actually the very first treaty in New Zealand that was recognized, and it has its own specific flag. On my BitChute channel, I've actually got a three-part series called The Big Picture, and it actually talks a little bit about that. So what he's discovered is that he has actually now figured out that because of the fact that the treaty predates the Waitangi Treaty, and it is actually sovereign, and it connects to the original deal they made with the original royals, that they can now hold their Nuremberg trials in New Zealand. And that's what his plan was. So I thought that was pretty interesting right there. So let's just see if I can get that connection back, because obviously every time I've touched a sensitive subjects, then I get these internet connection problems. So let me just try that.
For the Maori and for the whole world. The Maori remind us who we are, free and independent people who make their own choices and who will not let anyone tell us what to do and what not to do.
Here we
or
go.
what not to do. My friend and colleague Dexter Reinefeld and I, on behalf of the international group of lawyers, for many weeks have spoken with representatives of the Maori government and others who will support this move. We, all of us, will restore the peace for the Maori and for the world. Because this is what Tikanga Law is explicitly there for. Precisely for this moment.
That wouldn't surprise me if they throw me off the internet again every time I do these broadcasts.
Stand with the Maori. Love life.
And he breaks into the haka. So there you have it. They're going full force into the Māori government. So they're going to be dealing with the Māori government to sort this mess out. And it is a mess, because the whole idea is that the corporate crown entity is not the original person that the Herukaputanga treaty is contracted to. So there you go, big news. Reiner is heading to New Zealand. So New Zealand's going to have a big shake-up. New Zealand has been an interesting participant in all of these strange and bizarre events that have gripped our nations around the world in this current clown world. I call it a clown world. Now, my final story that I'm going to deal with today is something that was thrown around a group, and I really don't know anything about these people, to be honest. It just came up, and it actually was a New Zealand Herald article that brought my attention to this, and I'll share this page. I'll share this page for you. I think it's completely, absolutely clown world stuff, what's going on in New Zealand. So let's add this to the stream and get into this article. A stellar result. So, you know, the thing is that since the bear bug has fallen through and they weren't able to completely fulfill their plans, so now they've got plan B. And plan B is to make anybody that is basically speaking out about some of the issues around this country are basically neo-Nazis. I mean, excuse the word, even though Mr. Man with the Z, that comes from the country with a U and a crane, and a group called Azov, battalion, are actually wearing those symbols that came out of WW2 under that guy, right? Even though they're all weighing in and protecting their country against that country above China that is dealing with this issue, everybody in New Zealand that disagrees with the government is now you know what? Exactly right there. All right, so they've called this group Action Zealandia, New Zealand's largest blah, blah, blah group. I'm not going to say for the algorithm. In the hunt for new recruits. Okay, and it goes on and it goes on. A blah blah group is attempting to recruit more members across Aotearoa, and it's not Aotearoa, it's New Zealand Aotearoa, not Aotearoa. This is another thing that they're trying to do to pull the wool over your eyes. They're trying to remove the word New Zealand, and they're trying to transfer it completely over to Aotearoa. So this critic has an undercover investigation into this group here, named Here, okay? And it's the largest white supremacist group. They just love saying white supremacists, don't they? Now, admittedly, they are a European advocacy group. So, they actually only recruit Europeans because they're advocating for European culture. So they don't have any Chinese or Japanese or anybody else in there. So, they advocate for Europeans. So they're now automatically considered to be this word here. right? Neo, what that is. So, and this is the beautiful work that New Zealand media has got nothing else better to do but to come up and just like literally make up stories. Literally make up stories. Okay, so the group has been active for just over 2 years. So this week, an attempt to claim August 9 as White Lives Matter Day. Okay, so it's okay to have Black Lives Matter, and it's okay to have Antifa, who actually, called anti-fascists, who actually, they were fighting in, believe it or not, the guy in Germany back in WW2, he was actually started off fighting this anti-fascist group, right? Because they were Zionist-based. Okay, so the Zealandia members attempted to plaster White Lives Matter and Carl Rittenhouse's white. Carl Rittenhouse is the young guy during a BLM. Remember the 2020 Summer of Love? I keep calling it the Summer of Love. And the young guy was running down the street and he had an automatic weapon. And he was trying to protect properties in the area from looting. And he got pursued by several people, and somebody tried to shoot at him, and they cornered him, and he shot back and ended up injuring or killing the person. I don't remember if he actually killed a person, but anyway, he went to court and all that, and he was cleared. And so he was cleared of the case. He was only 17 years old. He was charged with shooting and killing 2 protesters. I don't think there were 2. I thought there was only 1. But anyway, at a Black Lives Matter protest in Wisconsin. Action Zealandia does not currently have a Dunedin presence, but it has in its past, and it wants to become more active in the city. And then, of course, da-da! The thing, right? Of course, they have to bring this in, don't they? Hang on. We advocate for European values. You call them neo, and then you plaster this sentiment out there, Ta-da! So this is how ridiculous New Zealand media has become. The group has put up banners across the country this year, and critics, I'm sure they have, and a critic or critics, maybe they spelled it wrong, and critics witness a banner drop over the Newlands Road overpass on State Highway 1. The banner read, Boer Lives Matter and Action Zealandia. Now, Boer lives. Okay, so we got to go back to South Africa there. And you have to do some research on what's happening in South Africa. And it's happened. It's happened. The problem with mainstream media is that most of these people don't even do any research. The people that are consuming this stuff don't do any research. They just believe everything that they write, and of course we're led to believe this when we're kids, right? So just trust the news, trust the 6 p.m. news. There's so many things that happen in the world, and you only get like 30 minutes, if that. Most of the news is 30 minutes long. You're only getting about 5 or 10 minutes of anything, that might be considered news, and then they go for the weather and the sport. So you're not getting really anything. Okay, so this banner was up. Similar Pocono. All right, so let's go down. All right, so the organization restricts its membership to physically fit, tidy European males of sound mind and good character. Okay, so, all right, whatever. I live in Asia. I've got multi ancestry in me. I don't know. Whatever. If they just want to hang out with white people, that's fine. I'm pretty aware of what's going on around the world with this white hate that's going on Europeans, what we call the matriarchy and the patriarchy, and the so-called slave drivers. Even though everybody had slaves back in the day, not just white people. The Irish had their own slaves and they were white. Africans had their own slaves and they were African. Egyptians had their own slaves and they were Egyptians. It's like ridiculousness. Has just gone over the top. So the leader of the group is believed to have links to the New Zealand military. I don't know about that one. Information obtained by a critic to Arohi in March showed the man's online alias as Hector, and that he is listed. I don't know if he was a critic, if that was the same guy, Hector. I don't know the person who wrote that, but I've got something for you in just a minute. And that he listed the movement leader. Discussions in online chat rooms confirm he is the group's leader. Okay, and it's going to go on and on and on and on and on. And they actually go on and they say that, where is it down here? Antifa are doing an investigation of them. Okay. As reported last year, he is the first New Zealander to be charged with espionage, although his involvement with the Dominion movement has also been reported. His presence in Action Zealandia was not known until now. Okay, this is a fella. Okay, so it's kind of like completely messed up. The group fluctuates in how active and bold its members are. They face significant setback when group members are arrested or their social media accounts become deplatformed, but there appears to be an overall increase in their activity over time. At least twice their leader Hector temporarily left Action Zealandia communication channels after being arrested and his devices confiscated. In April, he said in chats that he was caught by the cops during a street action and for breaching bail after leaving his residence, after originally getting arrested for vandalism. Okay. See, and then we go on to talk about Hector was trying to meet this guy called Sewell, and Sewell is a leader of the National Socialist Network, an Australian neo-Nazi group. Now, National Socialist. Okay, National Socialism. Okay, fair enough. That's what was taking place in Germany, but they're two very different things. Neo this guy and neo that, and National Socialist are very, very different things, right? And you've got to really understand how different they really are. So Action Zealandia was banned from Twitter. I'll send the link in the description so you can go ahead and do it. But it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And anyway, they promoted white genocide conspiracy theory that a Jewish elite is plotting the extinction of white people through mass immigration, forced diversity, multiculturalism, and abortion. They express their beliefs that people of color, LGBTQ people, are tools to reach this goal. Well, well, I've got a lot to say about that. Basically, you can't really force people. I've been living in Asia, and tell you what, when you have one race living with one race, things are a lot smoother. Instead of shoehorning people and forcing them to live together with different ideas, and then forcing them to be accommodating of another person's belief, and while at the same time letting migration come in. If you walk around England now, it doesn't even look like England anymore. Some parts of it look like parts of the Middle East. Entire small towns have been taken over. Okay. So anything to use the word neo-Nazi, and of course in this article they're trying to normalize Antifa as if Antifa are doing a investigation on them, and to be honest, it was Antifa that actually started the fires in Wellington, and I can guarantee that for a fact. You can go on my BitChute channel and you can see a video that I made, and that's exactly who it was. So you can go and take a look at this. This is the New Zealand Herald. I'll link it in the article. But the thing is, who are these people? So let's just go to their channel. First of all, this is an interview. Here is an interview. And it looks like it's lost its place now. Looks like we've lost the location of it. But let's just have a quick listen. This is an interview with them where we're not getting any audio from. We're not getting any audio from it. Oh, there's a link there anyway. So I really don't care because it's not my thing. Not my thing. I live in Asia. I have an Asian family. I don't care what people do. I understand that they need their rights. The thing is being muted here for some reason. I don't know why it's being muted. Anyway, So there's that. You can have a listen to this. And this is a very interesting interview, actually, because this interview has never been published, and it was from Te Karere. And it's a 37-minute interview. 37-minute interview. And they've spent a lot of time talking about who Action Zealandia are. And they've come across, they've addressed the question of, you know, are they an Aryan Brotherhood? And they have clearly stated that they're not in this interview. They've clearly stated that they're not. And also over here on their Gab, on their Gab website, I had a look, right, because anytime the government starts talking about terrorism and white supremacists and anti-LGBTQ, you know, it's a left-right paradigm, right? And it's a hard left, and it is the hard left. You know, I'm centrist. I did the survey during the previous election, and I positioned myself. I was smack bang in a little left, smack bang in the center, and a little left, believe it or not. A centrist. I'm a centrist. So they have constantly said that they are not in an Aryan Brotherhood, and they're not interested in it. Here we are. I'll just share this tab instead. Okay, and this is all I'm gonna talk on the issue, because I just think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So you can see here, this is their Gab, right? So I gotta admit, these guys are pretty, like, I wouldn't want to mess around with them too much, because I'm not into this sort of thing at all. But they've clearly stated on their website, okay, they might be pro-Russian. Okay, they might be pro-Russian. That's okay. But I'm in Vietnam, and they're a bit pro-Russian. In fact, a lot of people don't realize that it wasn't China that fed Vietnam all those weapons. It was Russia, right? So a lot of countries understand what's going on there, right? So you never can tell anymore. You never can tell. Okay. So just trying to skim down to it, messing with the page. All right, so let's have a look at this. October 26, 2022. We trust everyone had a great Labour weekend. Labor Day is the most important holiday in New Zealand. Well, Labour is a far left concept, right? We're in May Day right now, May 1st. We're in May Day in Vietnam right now. It's a far left concept, right? Labour is far left. Here we go. Protesters wearing skull masks, holding New Zealand flags, and wearing other battalion merch are not Action Zealandia members or associates. We did not support Azov Battalion, nor do we waste our time fighting on behalf of conservative feminists. Looking at the pics at the Antifa, that word, hot word, are taking one of the dudes isn't even white underneath the mask. We're a white nationalist group. We don't accept non-whites. All right, so there you go. They've said it themselves. So it's a real pity that New Zealand is sort of really just embarrassing itself. New Zealand media is completely embarrassing itself with their talking points. All right, their talking points are really silly. I think what I'd rather do is I'd rather just watch the haka, to be honest. And I'd rather watch that
world government where foreign
I'd rather watch the haka, and I'd rather watch the We Are Ready video one more time. Yeah, let's do that, and let's close it up. I'm Jason Berman, your host. You're on State of the Nation, and
before has the world been
let's
so
watch the video
aware
again.
of people and organizations trying to usher in a one world government where foreign billionaires control everything we do. We have a message for you power-hungry globalists. You overplayed your hand. We see you. We know your plans. And guess what?
We are many. We are united. We are ready. See you on May 20th.
On that weekend, the Bilderberg Club are meeting in Lisbon, Portugal for their annual meeting. So we are meeting too. Freedom lovers all over the world will come together in their own country or travel to Lisbon to send a clear message. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. This is unlike any other freedom event we've ever had. It's not a protest, it's a display of collective courage and strength. We are not begging to be heard anymore. We don't care what their plans are, because we are ready. In just 3 years, billions of innocent people were put on house arrest, stripped of their human rights, bombarded with repetitive fear propaganda, forced to choose between their job and trial drugs, cancelled, silenced, and bullied for asking questions. Now, in 2023, we're dealing with inflation we can't afford, rising energy prices, climate change propaganda, cancel culture and division, intrusive surveillance, and increasing death rates. You can threaten us as much as you want, but we have this message for you. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. Enough is enough. We are no longer afraid of you and your evil plans. So bring it on. Any group or person can host one of these events in their city. You can also help us spread the word or check to see if there's already an event in your area. Head to www.weareready.world for all the
With this feeling I can leave. I'm working and I'm